Yeah, I mean, we're kind of lousy with them on this podcast, right?
So, an embarrassment of riches. Um, so, according to a recent Jacobin article, compared to similarly educated peers in the workforce, teachers earn 76 cents on the dollar. Bubble baths and mindfulness apps can't make up for the systematic denial of life-sustaining wages. So, my first question to you is, are you sure self-care can't make up for teachers making 76 cents on the dollar?
It all depends on who you ask. I'm if you ask the bosses, for
Mhm.
sure. Like it is, once a month having someone give people 5-minute back rubs with business cards to the massage therapy studio across the hall, across the street from the school,
Wow.
and a certificate saying we appreciate you and we want you to take care of yourself. Um, on Teacher Appreciation Day. The bosses love that. It's low cost, low effort, and it's not doing us anything.
That really happens?
Yeah, I mean, there are days where they'll have professional development days where they'll
Mhm.
have like self care. We'll have a talking circle at the beginning, and recently I had one a professional development where they had us take a walk around the building, and it was nice, but also like I would have loved to use that 15 minutes to grade student papers so I can walk
Mm.
outside my house after work off the clock for 15 minutes, maybe with my kid, maybe with a friend, maybe with a companion of some sort. I free time. That's what I want. Even more than I want a raise. It's free time. And listeners, viewers, if you don't know, I am a teacher.
That's right. Teacher in Chicago. A very
Hmm.
special place to be a teacher. So they had you
Now
walk
more than
around.
ever.
They had the teachers walk around the building? Just the teachers or the teachers and the students?
Just the teachers. It was actually really funny because the students, many of them were at recess. I teach at a middle school, and the students still have recess there. And so we were outside of the gate, and they were inside of the gate, and they were like, they were watching us the way people watch animals in the zoo. They're like teachers walking. They were like so flabbergasted at watching like a pack of teachers all walking together around the building. And I just try to put myself in their shoes. And I'm like, yeah, if I saw that, I'd be like, are they being punished? What's going on here?
Right. A pack of teachers. I like that. That's the name for a group of teachers. It's a
Yes,
pack.
pack. And but yeah, that was just it was also a tease because it was such a nice day. And it's just like, okay, here's 15 minutes, and now we
Oh,
have to sit behind computers and talk about grades and fill out Google forms.
that sucks.
Yeah.
And it kind of would have been nice for students to get that opportunity too. But then also,
Mm,
as you said, for you to have that opportunity to do that on your own time with a loved one, a companion, friend. But that is the nature of self care, right? It is
yeah.
self focused.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all about us.
They don't care about your loved ones. You're supposed to be canceling plans with your loved ones to do more work and then to do self care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean when that's also the insulting thing is like when we have like one of those full day professional development days, I have to like sign up my kid then for all day childcare with the park district, which is pretty affordable. I like the program, but it's still money out of my pocket. It's money I'm paying to work. It's money that I'm basically I make a paycheck from one city agency, and then I give
Mhm.
another city agency that while giving my labor to the first one still that day, not really reaping any. So basically, I take a pay cut for the day. And
Damn.
so when they build in things like self-care into that daily schedule, it's just so insulting because I would much rather just be with my child right now.
Right. Oh, I'm sure your child would rather be with you too.
Yeah.
So
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's the park district is nice and all, but like
Mhm.
just being the kids are just institutionalized for too long. One of the things that Rahm Emanuel did when he was mayor of Chicago, and because
Mhm.
it's all politics, he lengthened our school day from a 6.25 hour day to a 7 hour day. And he did it through propaganda and through inflated numbers. He kept throwing out this number that kids in Houston went to school an extra 4 years out of their lifetime because they had a longer school day. And the reason why our school day was shorter than the average one was there was
Mhm.
an agreement made between the Board of Education and the teachers union one year. The Board of Ed said, well, we can't afford to pay you anything extra. And we want to make sure that you're getting paid for the time you're there. So what we'll do is we'll make the teacher's lunch at the end of the day, but then you get to leave early. Like, it's an hour long lunch, but then you get to leave an hour early. So the kids lost recess in that process for the most part. But
Whoa.
teachers were still working the same amount of hours per day without a lunch, essentially. And then Rahm Emanuel said, oh, well, this means that, the kids are losing an hour a day. Well, that's not true. Actual time in front of a teacher did not change at all. In fact, Chicago on the overall did a little bit better than other districts when it came to instructional hours. And
Mhm.
he campaigned on forcing these teachers to work a longer day, and he forced a 7 hour school day on us. And it's been bad for kids. It's been bad for parents. It hasn't just been bad for teachers and school workers. I know with my kid, he's just exhausted at the end of the day. Uh,
Mhm.
if a kid is involved in any after school activities, they're leaving home in the dark. It's not safe.
Mhm.
It's just, it completely changed the culture in CPS. And it was all for him to like put a bullet point on his reelection literature saying he lengthened the school day in Chicago and didn't have to pay for it.
Is that why the teachers union in Chicago is so strong? Because you guys had a Disney villain to go up
I
against.
will tell you this, like, I mean, it took a lot of organizing before Rom was even mayor, but when Rom, well, the first thing he did was he canceled a 4% raise. We had a clause in our contract that said that if there's a financial emergency, the school district can refuse to pay the last year of our contractual raises, which is a 4% raise that year. And Rahm Emanuel, through what do they call it, creative accounting, was able to show this huge shortfall in the district. So they said, okay, we're canceling the raises. And the money was found later, by the way. But in the
Mhm.
meantime, that got teachers so energized to be involved with the union and show up to union meetings and for union reps to show up to our House of Delegate meetings because, at this point, he just threw down the gauntlet and just said, like, this money that everyone was relying on for some teachers who were about to retire, and that was like their last year before they retire, they were counting on that raise to fund them, their lives for their in perpetuity, essentially.
Mhm.
And for other teachers, we were expecting that money. We had kids or we didn't have kids, but we had rent. Rent goes up, groceries go up, the cost of living goes up,
Mhm.
and we got screwed. And that got teachers really energized. And then the lengthening of the school day, that got a lot of parents on the board with the union and
Mhm.
community orgs, because now all of a sudden the kids don't have ties necessarily to their neighborhoods. They're stuck in school doing more test prep for the most part, because
Mhm.
after school activities weren't really added, enrichment programs weren't added, art and music was still bereft of most schools, and
Mhm.
so the kids were doing an hour or more of test prep. And so that really got a lot of support behind us in our first strike in 2012.
Jeez. More test prep. It's hard for anyone to get behind that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.